Hey guys! Okay, so here we are. We are on, now it's Saturday on the weekend, and I am just getting into the garden now. I had a really crappy sleep last night. I have a bit of a stiff shoulder, and I could not get comfortable all night, and I was up all night. So anyways, I slept in a little bit. This morning I got up and I took some muscle relaxants and some Advil, and I went back to sleep and had a sleep in. So thank God for that, because oh, there's nothing worse than the shoulder pain. But gardening is probably either going to make it way worse or it's going to make it way better. So we'll see what happens. But I don't have time to spare, so I'm out here in the garden, and I've worked up my spot where I'm going to start to plant the dahlias. So I ordered my dahlias this year from Unicorn Blooms. I had a bunch of dahlias that I saved last year. Well, not a bunch, actually. I had some. I tried a new method of saving them, put them in brown bags, totally forgot about them. Had a lot going on this winter. And then they're all totally dried up. I tried to take a few of them and see if there was any eyes on them and get them to sprout. It wasn't happening. So I may, after I get all this stuff planted, I may go dig them all out, like get them all out of the boxes, and then plant them in some crates and see if anything happens with them. But I'm not worrying about them right now because I don't want to plant something I know I'm likely not going to get anything out of. So I'm just planting the dahlias. So I've gotten my little strip ready. So this year I'm planting everything in a square shape because I don't know. I want to have it like where the fire pit's in the middle. I want it to be like an X for the walkways. In my head, I have this different visual for the garden this year and hopefully for years to come, because I want this whole front area to be perennials. And then eventually, once we get this house knocked down and a new house moved in or whatever we're going to do, then I want this whole area, like this one other whole side, perennials. I want to plant some fruit trees. Like I have plans, but because we haven't got the house situation figured out or anywhere near figuring out, I'm just going to leave all that stuff. Like I've planted the perennials, and I'm going to start the shape of the X. Oh, hi Ron. Hi Ron. Hi Ronnie. Oh, my big ranch cat Ron. Love you, buddy. Oh, he's so dirty. Anyway, so I'm going to plant the dahlias, and then I have a ton of things to plant. I want to get all of the seedlings in the ground this weekend because I know Mark is busy. He will not have time, and he will probably not remember to get them watered. So the goal is to get everything in the ground. So let's get at it, you guys. I'm going to be nuts. So I'm going to just start planting away. I will check in with you guys as things are going, but I hardly have time to record a video. I just want to check in with you guys, and we'll see how this whole weekend goes of planting and see if I can get it all in the ground. But right now, we're doing dahlias. Hopefully I can just do one big long line of them, and we'll see what's up next. I plan to do dahlias and then Lysianthus behind there, but I've got loads of Lizzies, so that's where we're at, you guys. We'll check you in a bit.
All right, you guys. So here I am planting the Lysianthus seedlings. I'm not sure if I've mentioned before or not. I'm pretty sure I have. But I purchased the Lizzie seedlings from a local greenhouse. I ordered when they were putting in their wholesale order for the year, because I've tried to grow Lizzies before and was not as successful as I wanted to be. So I figured I would just pre-order them and have them come to me already started to take the pressure off. And they're very time consuming. You have to start them very early on. I would say here in Zone 3, Saskatchewan, we'd want to start them in January or even December. So here I'm just planting them up. I'm getting them in the ground and getting ready to get these all planted up, and then I will be planting the snapdragons. But basically what I do is I make one big thick row. So it's about 3 feet wide. And then within that row, I plant 3 rows of each type of flower. So here I've got my 3 rows of Lizzies. As you can see, there's a big mix of the varieties that I have. I have some Roseanne Black Pearls. I've got some Voyageur Champagne. I've got terracottas. I've got lots of different varieties, you guys. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But anyways, I'm getting them all planted in the ground here, just putting the dirt around them, and then I will be on to snapdragons here right away. So I'm very excited. I've got a ton of Lizzies this year, so I'm praying that they work out and I'll actually be able to have quite a few in some of the bouquets. I think they're really beautiful. They've grown on me quite a bit. I didn't always think that, but because of the different varieties you can get, I'm actually loving them more and more. So that's going to do it for the Lizzies, you guys, and then on to the snap. I have my Lizzianthus and snapdragons all planted up here, you guys. So now I'm getting some netting onto them. I have these posts that I got from Peavy Mart. Shame Peavy Mart is no longer around. But these posts are from there. They're fabulous. And then I have this roll of netting that I got off Amazon. It's okay. It's a lot of netting and it works. It seemed to work really good for me last year. So I quite like it. It's string. It's not made out of plastic. So that makes me a little bit happier than using a whole bunch of plastic all the time. I wasn't able to reuse any of it from last year, so that's kind of a bummer, but that's what I'm up to here. This is just going to hold them up when they get top heavy with flowers.
All right, friends, so here I am. I'm on day number 2 planting for the weekend, and I've got a ton done. I haven't done really any footage today because I really need to get stuff planted and get this done. I wanted to get all the seedlings in the ground this weekend because I have to go back home for the week and I don't want to leave that responsibility up to Mark to make sure they're watered and stuff. So I want them in the ground and I want to water them all. So today I've just been crazy, busy. I'm almost done. I have 1 crate left to plant and that is it. So I'm on a mission, but I'll show you guys once I'm done today, everything that I've got done. All right, so here's the garden update. Garlic that's been in the ground since the fall. There's lots of flowers in here. Flowers and vegetables up there. I'm watering. I had this dream of making this garden into a square shape, so I'm doing it. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I am. And up here again is the rose zinnias, cosmos, asters, herbs. There's like big fat rows. There's plants and then there's seeds, so they're like succession planted, so I'll have them all season. And then flowers for days and days and days. We got them all, and there'll be more planted. And yeah, and here are my snapdragons and Lizzianthus, and up here is my perennial bed that I'm making. So there'll be all kinds of perennials in this whole front part. It's uneven, so I thought, why not? And then in the back there, I haven't planted anything yet. That's gonna be the rest of my vegetable garden back there. So yeah. All right, friends, so here I am on the final day of planting for the season. I have been trying very hard to finish this video up, but we had some stuff happen. My great auntie Jean, who I love and adore, she's just been an incredible part of my life, passed away on June 2nd. So I had all these great intentions of doing this video and getting it all done and having it out to you guys way earlier. Consequently, I had to fly out to Alberta to go to the celebration of life. Well, I got to fly out there, and so I've had a lot of other things going on, to be completely transparent with you guys. So this video is a mix of a few weekends all put together. This is it. I finally picked up my tomato plants and I'm going to be planting those today. So what I typically do is I use my handheld cultivator, which is this, to make my row. I do put out a line. Sorry, it's windy again. Anyways, I put out my line, and I'll use this cultivator to make my line of tomatoes, and then I'm going to plant my row of tomatoes, one big long row of tomatoes. I did a little clip, and the audio was really, really quiet on it. I don't know why, but I did a clip showing that I also will use my earthway seeder when planting seeds. So that is something that I will use as well. But for planting seedlings, I use this cultivator, this handheld cultivator. This thing is amazing. It has gardened with me for many, many years. It does the trick. It does wonders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get planting here, you guys. I'm going to go grab my string. It's just right over here. I'm going to go grab that, set it all up, and then we're going to plant our tomatoes. So come along with me for the tomato planting time. This is pretty much it. I have a few more pepper plants to plant, and I did pick up a few more eucalyptus plants that I'm going to plant. But pretty much this and the peppers will be wrapping it up for this year, other than succession planting. But then I got to get on the weeding like crazy today because it rained out, and so the ground is soft enough that the weeds come out very, very easily. So I'm going to be on a mission to get as much of that tidied up as I possibly can today before I head back home to my place. So let's get planting tomatoes, you guys. Okay, so I've got my line in place. Good enough. This is... You're fine, buddy. So I just go beside my line and I make my row. Now I don't need to do this. I could use a shovel, which might actually be easier, but whatever. And I make it as straight as possible. I think I have like 15 tomato plants maybe. Here's my tray of tomato plants. They're quite tall and spindly, so I'm actually going to have to plant these a little deeper down, so I probably will have to go get my shovel. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, tomatoes, they'll turn into something amazing. They will bounce back. They will grow. They'll grow decently, so I'm just going to get on planting these. He would appreciate it if I returned all the cups they came in, so I got to remember to save all those and take them back, which I save all mine, so all good. I am going to go get my shovel. Okay, so I'm just going to dig down a decent amount because I got to put these in a little deeper. And that's okay with tomatoes because they do end up growing more roots on their sides. Up the shaft, the stem, you can plant these pretty far down. So this is great. This is a Roma tomato here. So I'm going to keep that. I'll plant it down. There's lots of earthworms in here, which is amazing. And I'm going to build up a little bit of dirt around the stem. Hopefully you guys can see that. This is kind of, no, you guys probably can't. Okay. So it's a Roma, and I have the stem kind of built, I have the dirt built up a little bit around it. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is. I put the dirt up a little bit around it so it won't break off in the wind. And I will get cages on these as well. I've always thought that I would have some kind of a setup for tomatoes, but because I crop rotate every year, I can't just have I'd have to set it up every year. So I just use those tomato cages. They do all right. For what I need, they're okay. Maybe one day it'll be different, but for now, this is how we roll. So, this is gonna get tricky. I'm going to label what I'm putting on them. I'm going to label what these are, each of them, by putting one of these just kind of tied around it lightly right now. And then I will mark it down in my book, or else get some kind of a stake that I can just write on each one of them, or I'll tie this around the cage once I bring the cages out. So for now, I'm just gonna put this around the base of the stem, gently, like not tight at all. Hopefully they don't blow off in the next week. I'll write these down. I'll write these down in my little garden book too, so I have that as my hard copy in case those blow off before I'm out here next week with the cages. The cages I have at home, I got rid of all the old ones from here because I'd used them for so many years that I think that they just needed to go. They were breaking or not. This one's called Pineapple. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Put it in here. This one looks good. I'm gonna bury it a little bit deeper because it's tall, and that's totally cool. You can do that. And I leave about 2 feet space in between because these will get big and bushy, because I try to come in and kind of clean them up, but it doesn't always happen. And I know I have more than one of each of these, but they're in no particular order, so I'm just gonna go around and plant them as they are. Okay, well, here's another pineapple. So I'm gonna plant it pretty close to this one here. It's a little shorter, so I'm not gonna dig such a deep hole. Put some dirt all around it, so it's in there good. So 2 times pineapple, we'll remember that. There we go. Here we've got the Jean Laflamme. So those are the ones I really love. They're like a small, like not tiny Tim, but they're a bit bigger than that, but not a huge, huge slicer. And they're orange in color, and they are freaking delish. Anyways, you guys, I just wanted to get on here and finally wrap up this video that's taken me weeks to make. And just, you know, let you guys know that I'm here. I've had a really crazy couple months, and very emotionally taxing on me a bit. So being in the garden, I've kind of used that time to heal a bit and work through some stuff. So I haven't been recording a ton, but I think I'm back in action. So I'm hopeful. This is the start of a brand new week. So I just got home from, I flew out to Alberta on Saturday and flew home actually. So I've had a whirlwind of a weekend, but that's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. For the planting of the tomatoes, I'm going to get the rest in the garden, and then we're going to weed like crazy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll check you guys next time.